Government sources are calling the India-US trade deal a big win. They're saying it's a win for India, it's a win for the United States of America, and a slap on foreign policy doubters, those doubting Thomases who, according to sources in the government, thought that India's foreign policy was floundering. But the number of deals that India has been able to work out with the European Union, 8 in all, and this of course would be the 9th and massive, the India-EU deal and the India-US deal. Sources are saying one nation with multiple trade deals, and incidentally, India has the lowest tariff when it comes to emerging markets. Now, emerging markets in the world are generally between 20 and 30%. Of course, some also at 19. India is at 18. And remember, we're talking about emerging markets. India's nation with, and that's what government sources are telling India today. India is one of those rare countries that has a multi-country trade deal already in place for the benefit of Indian exporters. It's a significant diplomatic achievement for India and those who are doubting India's foreign policy, because consistently India has been at it, from what top sources are telling India today, without compromising India's core interests. No give is what sources are telling India today on India's crucial red lines when it comes to agriculture and dairy, but a big gain when it comes to labor-intensive products export, whether it is in leather, textile, gems and jewelry, all of that would benefit. It's a big economic achievement for India, becoming that rare country to have a trade deal with so many nations and continents, and relentlessly, especially India, EU, India, United States, when finally this deal is inked, it's a vindication of, as some say, the policy that India has followed. Keep Indian interests supreme. India first. That's the policy that India has consistently followed. Now, the trade deal, India Today spoke to Sergio Gore, the US ambassador to India, and he said, look at the India-EU trade deal. That took 20 years to happen. This did not take that long. Yes, from the way we've been tracking the story, it does remain a fact. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was amongst the first of the bloc, this time last year. So 20th of January was inauguration of President Trump's second term. The Prime Minister early February with a big team was in the United States, and it was hoped that India would quickly have a trade deal, or at least a framework of a trade deal. The compact that was inked was fairly comprehensive. High-end trade, high-end technology trade, defense cooperation and a trade deal. So high-end technology cooperation is happening. In defense, cooperation is happening. Of course, India is still waiting for the US to complete supplies of the G404 engines, because that's now adversely impacting India's light combat aircraft. The delay in the G404 engines, whether it's global supply chains or other issues. And of course, finally now, it was yesterday that US President Donald Trump, late at night, of course, that India Today cover that you see on your television screen, and there's a beautiful backstory to that. So Sergio Gore, US Ambassador to India, he saw that India Today cover, he clicked a picture on his mobile phone and he sent it straight to the US President. And he says, if I knew that he's going to put it out in public domain, I would have actually taken a better picture. But then he just saw that magazine and took that picture and sent it to President Trump, which says, mover and shakers. The mover, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the shaker, US President Donald Trump. President Trump loved that cover. Incidentally, after Sergio Gore mentioned the story to India Today, Raj Chingappa, the editor of India Today print and the magazine, he sent several new copies of the India Today magazine to the US Embassy, and of course they'll be sent to the White House. But that's a big vindication for also the personal relationship or the bond between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President Donald Trump. But that does not mean that the relationship did not go through its ups and downs. Remember, President Trump had also called India a dead economy. Remember the manner in which, Howard Lutnick and others, including Scott Bessent, the names that called India throughout. But India did not go for that surround sound. India relentlessly, and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal in the Indian team, They were constantly negotiating, just keeping their eye on the ball, not going in for surround sound. Ultimately, we had yesterday, and of course, some analysts, even the United States, are now arguing President Trump blinked. Why did President Trump blink? Was it because Ursula von der Leyen, the European Union chief, president, she made that announcement, and in Davos before coming to India, that the mother of all deals is happening with India. And then with Antonio da Costa and Ursula von der Leyen, they were chief guests at India's Republic Day parade. And then on the 27th of January, there was this magnificent India-EU trade deal described as the mother of all deals. And there are commentators in the United States who are saying, why this delay? India and the US are close strategic partners. Why was Donald Trump doing this? So finally yesterday, he announced it. So what are big gains for India? We are still waiting for the fine print. Remember, the devil lies in the detail. But from information that's available in public domain as of now, what is in it for India? Why is it a big gain even for India? So, easier access to a $30 trillion economy, to the world's richest market. Low tariffs on textile from 50% to 18%. That's what we are being told, that those punitive Russian oil tariffs of 25%, they go out the window. Tariffs ultimately, and Sergio Gore told India today, those tariffs come down from 25% to 18%. That will be the tariff for India. But do remember, pre-Trump, it was 2% and 3%, but then Trump has imposed these tariffs across the world. So low tariffs on Indian exports, and especially labor-intensive exports, textile, leather, gems, auto components. It's a mega boost for the MSME sector. MSME sector will gain a lot because they were facing the heat. It's a big boost for pharma sector, for Indian pharmaceuticals. It's of course, pharma was also exempt, but the hope is that now that sector will also grow. The generics, electronic chip supply chain, that is India's big effort. That supply chains shift from China to India, more manufacturing comes to India. Again, it's being seen as a big win for India's IT sector, for the service sector, smoother access to defense and high-end technology in defense and space cooperation. That again is something that's being looked at very, very closely.